Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to episode, I don't know what episode, 124. I may be off. If I am, sorry about that. But welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Welcome to Monday night. I'm so happy to have y'all out there. Welcome. But we'll talk about it. But beforehand, a big old SKD 143. I love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV, and I love the fans that are out here every evening. So, I gotta say, being on the show, I've had so much fun getting to visit with so many other people who are big fans of reality TV as well. Be it Big Brother, Survivor, The Circle. God, there's so many out there, right? So cool. So thank you so much for being out here. Tonight's kind of a special night, not just because I'm out here talking to y'all, which is right up there at the top, but also a little special night just because of happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. Yeah, it's my birthday to me. I hope that makes it. I hope y'all understand how special y'all are that I said, yeah, it's my birthday, but I'm still sitting here doing my show. I wouldn't have it any other way. We're gonna get done. I'll go eat or do something else. Well, we're gonna do a little bit more about birthday celebrating tomorrow as well. I'm just like Jasmine from last week. Why have a birthday day when you can have an entire birthday week? So this is just the very beginning. I learned well from some of my other Big Brother folks out there. So yeah, Jasmine, I get it. I absolutely get it as well. I celebrate all year long. In fact, Kelly Green. I think I know that name, Kelly Green. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate it. Yeah, having fun. It's I can't believe I was 53 years old when I tried out for Big Brother. By the time I actually got inside the Big Brother house, I was 54. I'm turning 58 today. Man, I gotta say, CBS, if you want me back on the show, you better call quick because those numbers are just it's like the odometer in a car. They just keep on ticking upwards. But yeah, fantastic. All right, before I got so many different things I was going to talk about this evening. Before I do that, let me do a quick little shout out. It's always fun seeing all these names out here, so I'll do that. Amanda Lowe, yeah, Amanda, Amanda sent me a little thing. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. Ma, how are you doing? I hope you're doing all right. Graduation's almost here, right? Marilyn Sutherland, Cindy, howdy to both of y'all. Mark Taylor as well. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So I got Brian Hostetler as well. Jake the Horror Movie Geek. Let's see who else we've got here. Y'all are having quite the conversation out here. Marion, Chaz. Howdy, Chaz. How are you doing? Wyatt Garrett as well. Kelly Green again. Thank you so much. Let's see. I think I said Chaz, but I don't mind saying it. And my mom as well, Sue Hogg. Well, thank you, Mom. I appreciate you being out here also. I got everyone. That's fantastic. Thank y'all guys for joining me on the Monday evening. So much going on. And before we talk about a few topics that were suggested and different things going on, you see this background? You may have seen my teaser as well. Yes, today, a special day for me. Today is National Pigs in a Blanket Day. Right? Who came up with pigs in a blanket? Who came up with the actual pigs in a blanket? Pretty innovative. Little let's combine biscuits and sausages, or in our case, frankfurters and hot dogs and all that. Seems like a natural combination. But yeah, pigs in a blanket day kind of makes me think. It shows how my mind goes to oddball places because I heard pigs in a blanket. And all I could think was my favorite blanket that I had while I was inside the Big Brother house. And so my teaser was me in that blanket, get it, pigs in a blanket and all that. Nah, it's sometimes a dad joke, the little stretch there. But yeah, I had my favorite blanket while I was inside the Big Brother house, and I still have it with me even now because it was a gift. So thank you for that. Now it was I still have the blanket and I still use it all the time. It got a little cold in that Big Brother house. I was warned before I went in, it's going to be brutally hot because of all the lights that are there and all that. And it was during the first half of the year. But towards the end of the season, I've said this before, I think on here, I think they turned the AC down just so we would start wearing more clothes. Maybe they got tired of Dick going around shirtless the whole time, but I think it was just that they wanted us to look more like we were getting into fall. So having us wear more hoodies and things like that as they finished up the summer season. The psychological stuff that goes into that show of Big Brother that we don't even think of. That I don't, having been on the show, I probably don't even realize as well. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. But yeah, towards the end, it was a little chilly. So I appreciated that blanket every bit. But yeah, happy National Pigs in a Blanket Day. Uh, I actually ate them this weekend. Didn't realize there's a special day for it. I was up in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Family friend, longtime friend, a guy named Jay Mertz, lived across the street from my family. My parents and Jay and his wife were best friends from the day I was born. But before that, even he passed away, and he's kind of like my second dad. So we went up for a little memorial service for Jay and got to reminisce about a lot of old times and all that. And someone had brought along some pigs in a blanket. So yeah, it was nice remembering such an incredible man and celebrating pigs in a blanket just a little bit earlier as well. All right, so what else? I was going to talk a little bit about birthday, and then we'll talk about reality TV and all of that. Yeah, the birthdays in the Big Brother house were kind of interesting. I wasn't sure how they did. Right after I got in the house, my son Daniel celebrated a birthday, and it was hard. I've traveled all over the world. I've missed most holidays. I'm trying to think. Well, I missed one Christmas, but I wasn't married yet before the wife. But other than that, I always made Christmas. Always made my kids' birthdays as well. So being in that Big Brother house and missing my son's birthday was a little bit tough. But I ended up, I don't know if y'all remember, but I took a black t-shirt and I took rice because we don't have any writing. You're not allowed to write in there. But I took white rice and spelled out on that t-shirt. I think I said Happy B-Day Dan. Just so he would remember. Made him a cake that was an apple and an orange and I don't know, some frosting or something on top. Used whatever I had in the house, just so he'd have a little birthday message while I was in there. Not that he didn't already know I was talking about him, since hopefully they were watching the live feeds and listening to me talk 24 hours a day, sometimes a little louder than I should have been. But anyway, so I did that for his birthday. But we actually did have a couple of birthdays while we were inside the house. Kimmy and Jack both had birthdays. I think they were on the same day. Isn't that kind of some interesting ironic karma? But they both had birthdays in there. So we discovered that Big Brother wouldn't send anything special, anything like that. What they would do is they'd give us cake mix. We'd go into the storage room and find cake mix we found cake mix for Kimmy. We found cake mix for Jack. So it was up to us to fix the cake and decorate it however we wanted and all of that and celebrate the birthday. So they gave us a little bit extra just so we could celebrate. But in terms of bringing in outside food, pizza or anything like that, calls home in it, yeah, there wasn't any of that. But at least we got to celebrate. It was fun because especially that early in the season, it was a nice opportunity to kind of, I don't know, birthdays, we got to step away from the game for just a few minutes and celebrate. Just it humanized all of us. It just made us get to do something other than just focus on the game itself. Of course, we ate that cake and then we went right back to planning and conspiring and stabbing people in the back and everything else. But yeah, it was fun doing birthdays in there. Now I'd spelled out my birthday greeting with rice. Later, people cheated. I'm still a little chapped about that. They started taking cardboard and using we had drink mix, a Gatorade type stuff, and they would mix it with a little water, and they discovered they could use that and actually write on the cardboard the back of cereal boxes and write out messages. I thought using rice was a little bit more innovative, but Big Brother let them use the drink mix as a special ink after that. I like mine better. All right. Talking on and on. I know that, but you know, that's the way I roll sometimes. All right, few comments and everything as we go through. Mark Taylor saying, any changes on your predictions on Survivor? What do you think of the game for the one who looks like Harry Potter? I gotta say, and then Ma saying, keeping Yam Yam, but changed the final three to Carolyn, Heidi, and Yam Yam. I think that's an incredibly good pick, Ma, instead of Carolyn, Carson, and Yam Yam. I'm all for that. I like this last episode, and for those of you who haven't watched it, plug your ears because there will be a spoiler to mention. I'll try to. I don't know if I can do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about it. Pretty amazing. An idol was played, immunity idol. Otherwise, Franny would have been going home. It was pretty much unanimous, right? Except for the votes that weren't cast. Right? Yeah, a lot of votes cast for Franny. She certainly would have gone home. Danny plays the idol to save her. She's safe. Brandon goes home. I liked it. I liked the episode. As far as my final three, I'll say this. My favorite part of that entire episode wasn't tribal council, which was fantastic. My favorite part was watching Carolyn. They had one of these competitions where you had to crawl through a net that was like a tunnel. It was all twisted up with mud underneath you. She got so bad. Talking about a pig in a blanket. Well, that doesn't sound right. But you know what I mean, right? She was so twisted up in that thing. There was no getting out. She was yelling the whole time and just stuck in there. And Carson had been sick earlier. I'm sure he was sitting there thinking, gosh, there's no chance that we're going to win this. Just stay in there a little bit longer, Carolyn, so I don't have to get there in the mud. Now she didn't. She got done just in enough time that Carson had to play in the game, get in there and get all twisted up and covered in mud as well, even though they didn't have a chance at all. But so much fun watching. There's just something about Carolyn. She is so much fun to watch this season. It's fantastic. As far as my final picks, yeah, Yam Yam, Carolyn, and Carson, all three. I'll throw in Lauren and Franny. Of those five, I think we've got to be talking top five or top six, in my opinion. There's some others in there. Henry, I think he's such a fantastic physical player in a lot of ways. I think there's going to be too many people that are targeting him because of that. So I think he'll get cut loose. And there's a few others, Kane, and a few. Those five I mentioned, I think are going to do it. I'm doing a little fantasy league Survivor, and Franny was my pick. Well, Lauren was my pick, and then I got extra points for picking a finalist, the final winner, and I said Franny. So those were my two picks, but I'm incredibly impressed. I've been impressed and cheering on Carson forever, just because, rocket science and all that. I think he's still playing fantastic. But you know what I liked about in this last episode about their gameplay? They had heard that Danny was maybe going to play the idol to save Franny. And so, they knew that maybe things weren't going to quite work out, and they could have gone back to the others and mentioned that and really then flipped it on Danny and sent him out the door because he wouldn't have been protected. And, there's a lot of things they could have done, which strategy wise, who knows if it would have worked better or not in the long run. But what I really like is then when it came time for the vote, Yam Yam and Carson both voted to evict Franny, even though they knew, or at least they thought, that Henry was going to play the idol and protect Franny. So their votes were wasted, but they voted that way anyway, just so they can claim that they didn't know anything about it. Yam Yam acting all surprised. He needs an Academy Award just for his acting. Acting all surprised that the idol had been played. I think that's a brilliant move to stay in tight with the others so it doesn't look like they're part of this other group. I just think they're playing a strong game with that. So who knows? It was fun. There's so many idols and advantages and everything that are still sitting out there being played. They're all gonna it's gonna happen fast, I think, over the next few episodes. But no, I think I thought Yam Yam was on the ropes. I thought he was done. But after watching these last couple episodes, it was a cat with 9 lives. He could make it to the very end. Carolyn, as fun as she is to watch, I still don't know that I quite give her the winner's edit. If for no other reason, the editors, the Big Brother, the Survivor editors have gone out of the way to show people not paying attention to anything Carolyn says. Even when she knows what's going on, people are ignoring her. Which worries me a little bit. If she made it to the final 3 tribal council, would they give her credit for doing as much as I think she's done? Probably not. They just discount her as, she's a flighty one that made it to the end just because no one cared enough to send her out the door, which is wrong. But I can see people saying some of that. So yeah, I don't know. I think Yam Yam and Carson could both be good picks. We'll see. I'm excited for this season. I've complained that I thought there were too many idols and stuff out there, but it's been pretty good. We've had some good tribal councils so far. So thumbs up, couple of thumbs up to everything that's happening on Survivor right now. All right. Chaz is saying, applied to Big Brother this year. Congratulations. I was the one to see you did so much. Sent in my video a few weeks ago. And then Cindy saying, Big Brother's having a casting call in Vegas May 3rd from 12 to 4. My oldest daughter is going to audition. Oh, I'm so happy. Hey, maybe Chaz can get on there, and Cindy, your daughter, could as well. And if they happen to mention to each other this connection, maybe there could be a little alliance forming, a little pre gaming, but we won't call it that. First of all, thank you, Cindy, for mentioning that, because I saw the casting call come out, and I'd actually forgotten about the day. So thank you, man. Of all the places to go for a casting call, Las Vegas. I need to be checking the flights. I'd love to. I'd love to go out there and encourage in between some rounds of blackjack. Encourage everyone trying out for Big Brother. Um, it's different. It's interesting because Chaz, you sent in a video and Cindy, your daughter's going to audition. I really think a casting call is so different from sending in a video in terms of, I don't know, in terms of the interaction and who tends to stand out, who maybe shines. I absolutely believe that if you have the opportunity, you should probably do both, because sometimes people just do well in front of a live person. They interact back and forth. It's a conversation. It's just free flowing. I felt like I did that better than I ever would have just doing a video itself. So it worked to my benefit to do a casting call. But there's other people who maybe have everything a little bit more rehearsed in their head, and aren't always quite as spontaneous, and they've got the story they want to tell, and they can certainly do it in a 3-minute little clip, and get all the information out there. So different people handle the communication different ways. So I am glad that Big Brother is doing it both ways this season. So yeah, I want one of them to make it on. That would be fantastic. So Chaz, man, that's and Cindy as well. If either one of y'all hear something, you can call me. I promise I'll keep it a secret. I will say that one or two people over the past few years have reached out to me, and I'll leave it at that. They had some possibilities of getting on the show, and mum's the word. Inside the Big Brother house, I got a loud mouth. Outside here, a little more confidential, as you will. So keep me in mind. All right, Amanda Lowe. Well, I saw your name pop up here, Amanda. Yeah, let's talk about that right now. I always tell y'all guys, if you got something you want to talk about, let me know, and we'll try to bring it up. Amanda surprised me this morning. I'm sitting there trying to do a little work, because I do have a 9 to 5 job and all. And I saw a DM from Amanda that just made me laugh, and kind of divert from work for a little bit, because she wanted to know about the mutilated cattle down here in Texas. Hey, yeah, forget Florida. You think Florida's the crazy ones. Well, Texas has our own share of crazy down here as well, because and Amanda said, I'm so excited to talk about the mutilated cows in Texas. And I think that's about the extent of it. What a way to get someone intrigued and a little interested. Because, of course, first thing I have to do is go out on Google and say, what happened to the cows in Texas? And I found all kinds of stories. For those of you who aren't familiar with it or aren't aware of it, I feel like I need to be playing some X-Files music or Twilight Zone. Apparently, there's half a dozen cows and half a dozen different herds that have been found dead, laying on the ground with their tongues surgically cut out, parts of their hide removed, and the police are saying very clean wounds with scalpels or whatever. And not just a whole herd, but one here, one herd over in another neck of the woods, all in a little area very close to where I spent some time, halfway between Dallas and Houston. And I go up to the lake up there and everything. So yeah, anything having to do with clowns and having to do with cows certainly gets my attention. I don't know what's going on. A bunch of mutilated cattle. Sounds like the start to a very scary horror movie, right? Yeah, I had to. And dum dum dum. I don't. You hear this every once in a while, right? There's so many cattle in Texas. First of all, I'm amazed that they found them. Second of all, I'm amazed that someone actually reported the cattle, as opposed to just having a very special barbecue, a very unplanned barbecue taking place. I don't know if there's aliens coming down. Do they have a special connection to the cattle? I don't know. A lot more cattle than people in some parts where they're coming down, but I don't know. If I'm one of those other cattle around there and I see the saucer coming down and I don't know, you think a cow talk back? The aliens land, they say, "All right, cattle, y'all are okay. Just let us do our thing." And one cow starts spouting off or something. They say, "Oh, that's it. We're taking care of you, cow." Rest of the cow probably learned their lesson, right? Now, having said that, I was up in Dallas Fort Worth, and I did notice on the way back home, we drove back yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that we passed by a whole field, and every single cow in that field was laying down, was sleeping. At least we thought they were sleeping, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's a bunch of cows that were just saying, "Yeah, I'm going to pretend like I'm just going to lay here, pretend like I'm dead," because they don't know when those little green guys are coming back or not. I don't know. It kind of makes me think. I think Kat Dunn is still over doing her Coachella stuff, festival tour, whatever. I need to call her. If we're talking conspiracy theories and little green aliens and all that, Kat's got the scoop. It may not be coincidence that all these dead cattle are showing up in areas not so far away from where Kat Dunn lives. Not saying there's a connection. I'm just not saying there isn't either. So yeah, Amanda, I'll keep you up on it now that's on my radar. I'll be checking in with the Madison County sheriffs every once in a while and make sure that well, let's keep it to the cattle and not start involving the folks, right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was. I was laughing all morning thinking about these cattle. Not so much if I'm a cattle person. Not so much if I own a cow. One of those cattle. Those things are expensive. To lose them like that, someone's not too happy. Maybe it's just someone who likes cow tongues. I had a cow tongue over in California once. I ate at a Bosque restaurant, a little town of Bakersfield out there, and they had Bosque people, region of Spain. Cow tongues were their specialty, and so they brought out a cow tongue. I think I've talked about it here before. I thought they'd bring out like little slices. Now they brought out a big old tongue, and you just expected cut off slices yourself, which is kind of gross. You know what's more gross? When you taste cow tongue and you feel the little taste buds from the cow tasting you back. Yeah, it was not the favorite meal I've ever had, but hey, life's all about experiences, right? All right, what else do we have on here? Vicky Stone saying, we call them hogs in a quilt. Well, that seems a little bit more appropriate as well. I forgot what they were. There were a lot of different sayings of what people call hot dogs, and was one of mummy dogs. I don't remember that. It's funny that apparently this is not just a southern regional thing. This is I don't know. Do they have them do they have them up in Canada? For those of y'all up there, I would think pigs in a blanket probably up there. Not sure if they have them over in Europe or not, but I like them. Again, biscuits and hot dogs, Frankfurters. Yeah, that fits me pretty well. All right. Marion saying, would you be up for watching your Big Brother show with us on Monday nights, or taking a step by step, see what you're thinking through each episode? You're talking about my particular show. I'd like to. I think that would be fun. Here's the issue. I got to figure out a little bit how I can do it. I'm afraid if I showed the show in the background and I'm making comments that CBS is going to come along and say, "Yeah, you can't show. That's some kind of copyright infraction. I don't get any special privileges." I'm sure they'd call me out, right? There's probably someone from CBS watching every one of these episodes to make sure that I'm not revealing anything I'm not supposed to or anything else. And if you are, hey, call me, guys. Let me know what's going on. But no, I got to figure out how I would do it where I don't actually show the show, and yet I can still talk and y'all understand what scenery I'm talking about. So I don't know exactly how I would do it, and I don't know if it would work easiest to do it live. I'd rather do it live because then y'all can ask questions, and that makes it 10,000 times better as opposed to me just watching it and filming a recap like I do with my morning recaps during the Big Brother season. Yeah, I think it'd be fun because I've told y'all before, I've watched the first third or so and then stopped. So it would be interesting to watch it with y'all, and not just me telling y'all what was going on and maybe some behind the scenes, but also getting some thoughts from y'all about maybe what y'all were thinking during some of them as well. So yeah, let me work on it. No promise yet, no start date, but it may be fun to do if we could do it either before Big Brother starts or maybe right after this season's over. We'll figure out. They still haven't announced when Big Brother is starting this year. I assume, as I've said before, probably right after the 4th of July, but who knows? and it may have something to do with the writer's strike. I'll tell you this much: they better not slow down the start of Big Brother and push it off into the fall just because they're worried about writer strikes and making sure they've got content for their fall season. It wouldn't be right not to have a summer of Big Brother. Even during COVID, we still had Big Brother. So yeah, we got to have that. Speaking of Big Brother, before we go on any other topics, y'all watching Big Brother Canada? I kind of ragged on them first part of the season without live feeds. It's just, and I'll still maintain it. It's not the same show. I don't like it nearly as much not being able to see the day to day, everything that's taking place. But the episodes, there's a lot going on in there. It's been a lot of fun. This last episode they had last week, they had an eviction, which I guess you call it a safety chain. Basically, the HOH had to announce one person they were protecting. That person protected someone, and they worked their way all the way down till there were just a couple of people left who were bad. There were three people left. They had a competition. One person was saved for those three, and the last two were on the block. Someone got voted out, which I thought was pretty interesting. I wish during my season of Big Brother they had at least just one competition where one person either had to protect someone else or one person had to pick the next two people competing. The winner of those next two then had to pick the two next people. Something that would have forced that big alliance I was competing with to reveal their loyalties. If Tommy's won a competition, is he going to protect Nick? Is he going to protect Christy? Who is he making vulnerable? Is Christy really going to try to save Jessica, or is she going to save someone else and maybe, affect her connection with Jessica? It would have been fun to show just who were the most important people within a group if they'd done that, but they never did it during my season. And I was waiting every week. I was hoping something like that would happen because I thought that was going to go a long way towards really breaking up that big group. And it never did, but they did that in Big Brother Canada. And then they had another competition, which was a lot of fun. They had everyone in the house. Each person got delivered a shot glass with a little drink in it. Well, all but one were nice, sweet tasting, nice drinks. One of them was some incredibly bitter, sour drink. Everyone had to drink it. And then everyone voted on who they thought had the bad drink, the nasty drink. And if even one person picked the correct person, then that person was eliminated from the competition. If no one picked the right person, then whoever drank the nasty drink, got rewarded for them not showing a bad look on their face by getting to pick someone else to eliminate. And so they started off with all of them. Every round, one person was eliminated until they finally got to the end where there were two people, little tiebreaker, and that's how they determined the HOH. How cool. What a cool competition. That's the other thing they never did during my season was any type of eating competition. I was so not looking forward to, but I thought I would have done well if they'd had one of those competitions where you had to make smoothies out of sardines and jalapenos and durian fruit or whatever you want to do. I thought they were going to have that competition when I was HOH as a veto comp, and it wasn't the case. But I really thought if there was anything having to eat really nasty stuff, I've eaten all kinds of weird things around the world. I would have done fantastic. I actually even asked in a diary room if they were going to do something like that. And of course, they wouldn't tell me anything. But yeah, it's funny. As many competitions, as many different things I got to compete in while I was inside that house, there's still the ones I didn't get to do that just weren't there during our season, which I wish they'd done. Which, hey, if I get back in, maybe they will. Maybe I'll go back on some kind of all-star season. They'll say, Cliff was sitting there bragging about wanting to do that nasty drinks. We're going to give him something especially bad just because he thought he was a little cocky talking about it. So if I'm back on, pretty much guaranteed they're going to have something horrible to drink. I'm going to be just like Fessy on the challenge. And if y'all don't watch a challenge, Fessy cannot handle the bad tasting stuff. That's his Achilles heel. He'll give up $1 million before he has to eat some of the gross food and everything they have on that show. Not me. Man, I'll eat a lot of stuff for $1 million. Trust me on that. All right. Chaz is saying, if you got the call, would you do Traders would you go? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I would be so much fun. Not only would I go, but I would be talking on the phone and I'd be telling them when I got to Scotland or wherever they do the next season. I think they're all in Scotland. I'd be saying, man, guys, I got to make me one of the traders. You got to don't make me a faithful. Make me a trader where I can have a reason to show off my villain side that no one's gotten to see before. I so much. Oh, I'd be so much fun trying to be the nice, loyal guy and everything, and secretly be back there. Because I couldn't do that on Big Brother. I just never had the opportunity to really do that, and it wouldn't have worked well for my game in there. There's a time or two I kind of wanted to do a little backstabbing. It just didn't work out. But yeah, do it. Yeah, put me on the Traders. Now I don't know. I know they've renewed the Traders US for another season. They've got 3, 4, 5 seasons UK, I think. But they've done a second season of the US has been renewed for Netflix. But I don't know that they're going to have reality TV people. It could be 20 just people we've never seen before. They've never been on reality TV, which I would like. As much as I think it'd be fun to go back on the show, a reality show again, I kind of like every season seeing brand new people I don't know anything about, and seeing how they're going to play, as opposed to people that you maybe feel like a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know Traders 2 if it's going to be any reality TV people or not. If so, yeah, I'd go back very quickly. It'd be a lot of fun. I think I'd do okay on that. A lot better on that than the circle. All right, Cindy Hyerson, are you going to Hearts of Reality this year? I'm planning on going. I don't know, Cindy. I'm still trying to decide. I've got the little work thing that I've got. Unfortunately, has been scheduled around the same time. They're still trying to decide. So, unfortunately, I'm still trying to decide as well. I've done it for the last 2 years. First of all, such an incredible charity and fundraiser to be working with for Hearts of Reality. And then just purely on a selfish side, meeting so many reality TV people and just meeting so many fans of reality TV as well. It's one of the most favorite things I get to do every season for as a result of having been on a show. So yeah, I don't know yet, Cindy. I know they're starting to announce people and all of that. Just gonna have to kind of see how the schedules work out. I'd love to. I'd hate to miss one, but I just don't know yet. A lot of it depends on work. So we've got that. Before I forget about it, we talked about Survivor, and I forgot, but I do want to mention this. Any of y'all in the San Antonio area, a little further west than Houston, if you are, Sandra Diaz reached out to me. She's going to be over in San Antonio this Wednesday to do a viewing party over there. I can't remember. It's some sports bar. I don't remember where it is. If you are considering going, reach out to me. I'll get you the information. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able. Yeah, funny how work gets in the way, right? But hey, they're the ones that write the checks, so it is what it is. I'm not going to be able to make it over to San Antonio, but she's coming in. Gio from last season of Survivor, Eric Abraham from 2 seasons ago, 3. That's hard to keep track nowadays, but they're going to be there. I think she's got a mystery guest or 2 showing up as well. But anyway, if you want to hang out with the Queen to Survivor and watch a Survivor recap, she's going to be over in San Antonio this Wednesday. So that just wanted to throw that out there because she'd reached out to me and said, "Hey, Cliff, would you like to come?" And so thank you for the invitation. Unfortunately, just not going to happen. But if you're in San Antonio, that'd be fun. Sandra is so nice. I've met her talking about Hearts of Reality, Cindy. I've met Sandra at the last 2 Hearts of Reality. And I thought if there was ever anyone that could be a little bit of a diva, it'd be Sandra. I mean, she has won $2 million in 2 different seasons of Survivor. If that doesn't make your head just kind of blow up, right? Anything. She was the nicest person. We had a little set aside area, a little room for snacks and everything while we're doing all our signing signatures and pictures and all that during this event. They had a little area for us to go up and just get away and get a quick drink and things like that. I go up there and Sandra's looking around saying, "I can't believe people haven't cleaned up here." And she's up there cleaning up this whole room, picking up food and napkins and doing all kinds of stuff. The mom part is kicking in. And I thought, man, here's probably one of the biggest celebrities in this whole thing. She's won so much. She's so famous. And she's the one cleaning up the room because other people didn't do it. And then I sat down and talked to Sandra. It's such a super nice, incredible person. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I really was excited to meet her. And then it got even better after I started talking to her. All right, Wyatt Garrett. Hey, Wyatt, how are you? Gonna see the Bellamy brothers, right? And Josh Turner at Billy Bob's. Then my friend Wynn Williams at Texas Live on Sunday. Dan, you are just the CMT of Cliff Notes Live. I always depend on you to have uh, have all the different. And I saw your Instagram stories and posts. It's always fun looking at the latest folks that you've met and hung around with. I mean, it's been a while since we've taken an extended vacation. We're going to have to take a vacation, just go hang out at the Fort Worth Stockyards and Billy Bob's, and go back to my roots a little bit. Yeah, grew up going to the Fort Worth stock show and hanging out in the stockyards and all of that, and that was a fun place to hang out when you're in college. I'll just leave it at that. But I haven't been back there in a long time, so you make me envious every time I see one of those posts out there. All right, REM Santa, which player would you want from the current Survivor season to compete on Big Brother? For me, Carson and Yam Yam would slay. Yeah, oh, they'd be great. Carolyn, I don't know, she would be so much fun, but and I'd love to see her on the show. But if I was inside the house, she would drive me bonkers. And it's just because I'm a very logical person, and I think she's more like she just always reminds me of Kat Dunn, where on the surface people don't take her seriously, but I think it's a very calculated move, and inside she's got a lot of it figured out. I mean, I give her all kinds of credit, but yeah, so I guess the question is this: who would I want to see if I'm watching as a viewer versus being in the house playing the game? Carson for both of them, because Carson's an aerospace engineer or something very similar. I feel like he and I would probably work well together in terms of logistical moves and all that. A lot like Ian Terry. If I ever got a chance to play Big Brother with Ian, he'd scare me to death because I think he's a great player. But in terms of interacting and just being able to lay stuff on the line and not deal as much with some of the hysterics and all of that some people have on Big Brother. So yeah, definitely Carson. Henry would scare me to death. I wouldn't want to play with Henry. I wouldn't want to play with Brandon. I've played enough Big Brother with big old alpha male competitive kind of guys. I don't want any of that. So no, probably not them. Yam Yam would be fun. Who else? Yeah, that'd be it. Knowing Lauren, having met Lauren, she's so fun. Forget gameplay and all that, just hanging out and joking and all of that. But Lauren would be fun just to hang around with, I think. So I'll say this: most seasons of Big Brother, most seasons of Survivor, there's always some people that you immediately say, "Oh man, I'd be cheering for them. I'll be on their side. I can tell." And then other people, you say, oh, the quicker they're gone, the better, because I'm just not going to like them at all. And I think that's been the case for just about every season of Survivor over the past few years. There have been people I immediately just not my favorites. There's no one like that on this season of Survivor. Everyone on that show has done their own bit of contributing. Now, there's a few people, Heidi and Jamie and one or two that I don't feel like we've really seen that much. I don't feel like I know them that well. They've kind of been background in a lot of ways. Jamie, I think she's got an idol that she thinks is real, but it's actually fake. She's going to get a lot of screen time coming up pretty quick, right? I thought she's going to maybe play it this last episode, and she didn't. And I still don't understand why. But yeah, everyone on this current season, from the very first, I really like them. So I'd play Big Brother with any of them. It would be fun to see the Big Brother players going out onto an island playing Survivor and vice versa. Because I think there's some people I think I'd do okay on Survivor, and there's plenty of others that stayed in that house that would do well. But there are people that spent 3.5 months in that house who would not be able to handle being outdoors in the rain and eating nothing but rice and being dirty all day long. There are definitely people who stay in your lane, bro. Play Big Brother, don't go anywhere else. And same with Survivor. I think there's people who would go absolutely bonkers being trapped inside a house for 3.5 months, as opposed to being out in an island and swimming and catching fish and all that. So I think there's a core little thing that ties all of those reality contestants together. Probably just, just over the top everything. But I also think there's some people that do well at crossovers, others who maybe wouldn't do quite so well. All right, REM saying, I sent Cliff my audition tape. Should I resend it? Please do if you will. I remember you mentioned that last week, and I went out there and looked for it, and I didn't see it. I thought I remembered seeing when you first sent it, because I remember I was thinking it was at work at the time. And I don't see it, but it may have gotten lost, or you know how internet stuff works. Yes, resend it. I'll give you comments. I'd love to watch. I'd be so great. Please, please resend it. All right, Jake, horror movie geek. In Vegas, they could find the next Rachel Riley. Floaters better grab a life vest. Yeah, absolutely. But you know, you mentioned Vegas, you mentioned Rachel Riley, and all I can remember is Reagan. Do y'all remember Reagan and Rachel on her first season? Just did not like each other at all. She starts griping at Reagan. He starts mocking, really making fun of her being a former cocktail waitress. I just remember her walking around, cigars, cigarettes, and really making fun of Rachel. As emotional as Rachel could be playing Big Brother, I give her a lot of credit that she didn't just absolutely blow up on him when he did that. But you could just see when he did that, just see the veins in her face working, or just her steaming as he did that. Kind of reminds me when I threatened to poison the jury during my season with Mickey, and threatened to make sure he didn't win if he sent me out the door early. And I can just see the veins on his forehead starting to pop, and wondering if he was going to just throw me over the balcony if I kept up that conversation. It's the same way with Rachel. So yeah, she is famous for, you know, maybe one of the most iconic lines of Big Brother history. But yeah, I'll always remember Reagan making fun of her and their arguments with each other. We didn't really have that during my season. I mean, we had people that argued. You know, Sis was not happy with Mickey when he voted her out. Certainly, Christy and Nick were not happy with each other as well. Tommy and Mickey at the end when Mickey told that lie. So we had people arguing, but I feel like those arguments weren't nearly as personal as some of the arguments we've had from seasons past. You know, Reagan and Rachel, Jen and Evil Dick. Well, they did things that would not be allowed on Big Brother nowadays. You'd be booted out the door in a heartbeat. But back then it was a little more permissible time. Social media wasn't quite what it was either. There were some people that just really made personal attacks against each other, and really took it to an extra level of just vile kind of stuff. But I remember some of those. Now, as a viewer, I also remember some of those thinking, all right, this is kind of chaotic and exciting to watch. Inside the house, not so much. Reality TV has changed quite a bit. Speaking of, I talked to my brother Bowie while I was up there in Dallas-Fort Worth over the weekend. Told him I want to get him on the show. I'm going to do that before the next Big Brother starts up. Don't have a definite schedule, but I want to get Bowie on the show to talk about when he tried out and when he was on The Apprentice back in 2003, as opposed to when I was on Big Brother 2019, because it's a whole lot different. He was talking about the fact no social media whatsoever. There wasn't any build up to it. No one really cared who they were until they got on the show. Just a lot of different stuff. He was reminding me that they're getting ready to celebrate the 20th anniversary of The Apprentice. So yeah, it's been a few years since they did their thing. But I'm gonna get him on the show to talk about that a little bit, and maybe give some inside scoop on, I don't know, hanging out with Donald Trump and Mark Burnett, you know, for Survivor fame as well, because Mark Burnett did The Apprentice also. He's told me some stories about Mark Burnett, so I don't know if he'll tell them on the air or not. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna get that schedule up because I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, Mark's saying, are you going to cover Big Brother 25? I am if they have live feeds, but yeah, I'm going to cover it. And then saying 2 months until Big Brother 25. Any word on the start or info on the show? Nothing on either. I said a little while ago, I think right after the 4th of July, probably, unless the writer's strike somehow changes how they want to do things. I hope not. As far as the theme, I keep hearing people say, oh, it could be celebrities, or not celebrities, but returning people for All-Stars and all that. I just don't see that happening, because we just had the All-Stars on 22. It wasn't that well received. So I don't think they're going to come back with another All-Stars. Before they did that, I could see them doing something like a second chances, where instead of having All-Stars, you bring back maybe half the people are people who didn't make it to jury, that were standout players, but just for whatever reason didn't quite make it to jury. Yeah, I could see them maybe doing something like that, bringing a few folks back. I don't think they'll bring back an entire cast of 16 people that have played the game before. but I could see maybe it being one of those seasons where you have half or three or four. Remember one season it was Nicole and James, and I don't remember who all, but they brought back just a handful of people. I maybe could see that, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet. They're so quiet. Normally, you start hearing little rumors about this time, but I haven't heard anything yet. Will I cover it? I hope so. I'll be doing the overnight recaps, which means I better get my sleep now because none of it happens during the summer. But yeah, unless they cut the live feeds, and then I don't know what I do. I sleep a lot. I maybe start watching RuPaul or something else. But yeah, I'd do something else. But I'm planning to cover Big Brother 25. How could I miss it, right? No, I'm not going to miss it. Not a chance in the world. All right, Brian hit zone 37. I like that locking name. Do you hang out with Nicole Anthony? Yeah. Now, she's in Long Island. I'm down here in Texas. I've got my family. She's got her fiance and all that. So hang out's a loose term here. We talk, and she's getting married early next year. Sharon and I'll be going up for the wedding and all of that. So yeah, I keep track of what's going on with her life. We comment, texting, DMing, commenting on each other's posts, things like that. So yeah, as much as possible. She's my partner in the game. I don't think I would have gone as far in Big Brother without her. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have gone as far without me. So yeah, there'll always be a little connection there. I'm always going to be cheering her on and all that. So yeah, Nicole, Ovi, Kat, Nick, Tommy. There's quite. I try to keep up with everyone. I mean, they're my family. People didn't take that seriously when I got in there. The first day or two we were in the house before the live feeds even came on. I told them, I said, look, I know at some point there are going to be people that start hating each other. It happens every season. I already got banished and all that's horrible, but I said, I really hope that we can be family when we get out of here. Some kind of family where we, a shared experience and all that. And everyone's like, oh yeah, Cliff. Yeah, absolutely. We want it. I don't know that they took it seriously. I did. I absolutely was sitting there thinking, there's 15 other people. We're all competing against each other. But at the end of the day, it's no different than playing Risk or Monopoly or their Life, some board game, except there's a $500,000 prize. But other than that, it's no different. And I would never not want to associate with someone or hang out with someone just because of what happened in the game. So I always was saying family, man, we're a family. Whatever happens in here, we're still a family. I always mention some people maybe more so than others, but yeah, I try to keep track of everyone. I follow all 15 of my fellow castmates, keep track of what they're up to, cheer on all their successes, and I'm there if they need it, if bad things occur as well. So yeah, I talk to Nicole as much as I can, as much as she wants to be talking to 58-year-old guy down here in Texas. But yeah, I'm so excited to watch her get married next March. It's gonna be great. All right, Chaz is saying, hypothetically, if me or Cindy's daughter get on the show, what kind of non-gameplay or gameplay things would you like to see us do to make the live feeds fun? Here's one thing. It's fraught with danger, as demonstrated by myself. I love the people who interact, who are aware, and let it be known that they're aware that there's people watching the live feeds out there, right? I mean, they tell you when you're in there, guys, the live feeds are on. So let's not have a lot of cursing. Let's not have singing. Don't do things that are going to have to cause us to shut the feeds down. So everyone knows the live feeds are going on. Now, my season, some of the people hooking up, you question whether they truly understood what live feeds are, or maybe they just don't know what modesty and privacy means. I don't know. But I like the people who talk to the cameras, and maybe there's a better time and place than old loudmouth Cliff doing it in the boat room and getting overheard. Maybe it's more back in the hammock area and all that. But yeah, if y'all get on the show, give a little shout out every once in a while. Not just to Cliff Notes and all that, but just to the fans that are watching. Give us your little inner thoughts if you can safely. Hey, this person, they're saying this, but I don't believe them for a heartbeat. There's no way I'm going to buy what they're trying to sell me, or I know these two are working together. Maybe you're right, and then we're going to be applauding you for seeing through. Maybe you're wrong, and then we're going to be going, they got it so completely wrong. It was so hard watching Nicole on All Stars when she was getting some wrong assumptions about Janelle and the way the game was Kaiser and all that. And there wasn't anything we could do except just watch her crash and burn. So that's hard, but yeah, little shout outs are always fun, just to let us the viewers know what's going on. What else could you do, gameplay or non-gameplay? Don't flame out. I mean, as a viewer, you love to see the people like Frenchie who just decide they're going to play the entire game of Big Brother in the span of 3 or 4 days. But I like to see the people who are methodical from start to finish, who seem to have a defined path. And so, yeah, just realize when you play the game, it is a marathon. It is a long time in that house, and you don't have to do everything at once. The other thing I'll suggest that I would like to see anyone do that maybe has watched the show and all that is realize that information is gold in there. You don't owe anyone explanations. You don't owe anyone information on how you're going to vote or what you're going to do or what someone said to you. There's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, let's talk later, because right now I gotta, you gotta be careful, because if you don't tell people stuff, sometimes they take it the wrong way. But once you tell a secret to anyone else in that house, especially during the early part of the game, it's not a secret anymore. When there's 3, 4, 5 of you in there, then maybe you can get away with it, because you've had enough time. You know who you can trust and who you can't trust somewhat. Sometimes you still don't know who you can trust. But in the early stages, when there's 14, 15, 16 people in there, you got to assume, no matter how tight you feel with one person, you've got to assume that they're probably talking to 3 or 4 different groups, trying to get their bases covered as much as possible. So if you say something to them and they suddenly get their rear ends in a bind and feel like they're in trouble, that information may be used to save them and hurt you. So just zip it. Again, it's funny that I'm the one suggesting it, but zip it. That's the best thing you can do gameplay in that game, I think. All right. Mark saying, I just got a book on how to win the challenge by past winners, CT, Devin, and Johnny Bananas. Do you think you could write a book on how to win Big Brother? If I say yes, then the first comment back is going to be, well, how come you didn't win it then? And I'll respond by saying this. You can have the best possible strategy when playing a game of poker or blackjack, and it still sometimes doesn't work out. There's a certain amount of luck built into those casino games, and there's a certain amount of luck built into to Big Brother as well. Could I write a book on how to win Big Brother? I don't know. I think I could write a book on how to give yourself the best possible chance to win Big Brother, on how to, what it probably would be is, how can you capitalize on what you're good at? And how can you compensate for the things that you aren't good at when playing a game of Big Brother? Because some people come in there and they may be the most athletic person in the world, but a complete, not the best social player, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Other people may not have a clue, or may not have a chance of winning many competitions, but be the most charismatic person in the world. Well, both of those you can do something with, but both of them have a lot of risk as well. You've got to figure out how you're going to cover it, because Big Brother never cast anyone that's the super everything, because that'd be boring, right? So we all have our strengths and weaknesses in life and in the game of Big Brother both, and it's all about trying to figure out how you maximize what you're good at. And yeah, for me, I knew I wasn't going to win every competition. I got not lucky. I'm not going to say I got lucky. I feel like I earned it, but I did win a few competitions. A few of them I'd have needed to win that kept me alive in the game. But I knew going in that I wasn't going to be that alpha male winning every other competition. So I had to rely on social game a little bit. And so I really focused on that. Someone else coming in may have a whole different mindset. And for me, I knew I wasn't going to be able to go under the radar because of my age. I just stood out from the other people too much. Other people could probably float through the first half of the game. So yeah, I could write a book, but it's not like How to Play Chess, where you can kind of telegraph out every move. Every person coming in there is going to be different. And talking about gameplay and the question that was before, maybe my biggest advice is you just have to be flexible, because it's not just what you do well and what you don't do so well, but also the other people in the house. Look at my season. You had Jackson Mickey who came in there, and I know his biggest fear was that he was so athletic, pumped up with iron and all that, and he told me that he was so worried about all of that that he was going to be an immediate target. Well, then he got in there and suddenly he sees Jack Matthews, Aquaman Jr. or whatever, and he felt a lot better knowing that there was someone else that was going to be a similar type target. And that's one of the reasons those two guys bonded together, is because they both felt like they would do the same things well and other things not so well. So, if I get in there or some other older person with a lot of stories and kind of that mom or dad kind of persona and all that, I may have to play a little differently than if I feel like I'm out on an island alone in terms of who I am versus everyone else. So you got to be very flexible when you play that game. It'd be fun to do a book. It'd be interesting. I don't think it'd be just me. I think it'd be a lot more fun to get advice from a lot of different types of people who've played the game and give a variety of information, because not everyone's going to play the game or be able to play the game like I did. You got to play your game. You can't copy someone else's, because everyone's going to be a little bit different. And you're going to surprise people if you figure out some new way to play the game and don't just repeat what others have done. Wow, 7:58. It goes so fast. All right, couple of quick things real quick. Brian's saying you can almost set a trap to see if you can trust someone. Yeah, no, absolutely. There's plenty of people who tell one person something just to see if it gets back to other folks. I'm trying to think if I ever did that. Not really. I never felt like I was in a position to do that. I almost got burned because I told someone something and it came back, and I knew who'd spilled the beans, but I didn't do it as a trap. But you can be super sneaky on this stuff, and it's dangerous. You do that, and then that person finds out you set a trap. Now you got an enemy, so you got to be careful about that as well. But yeah, find out who you can trust and who you can't trust early before you get to the end game. Vicky's saying, hate it when everyone votes the same. I get it. I do too. But Moss saying likes it when someone throws a rogue vote and everyone gets paranoid. As a viewer, I absolutely agree. Within that house, there's just too many times that someone throws a rogue vote and it gets back. Somehow people find out who that rogue vote was cast for, and it just creates all kinds of stress and everything else. And I know in my case, because I thought about that during the first couple of votes that I was able to vote in there. I thought about throwing a rogue vote, but there was a part of me that almost, because I was trying to get in with that bigger group. And I thought, well, if the vote is unanimous or close to unanimous, then I'm going to be able to convince everyone on that side that, oh no, I'm with you. I voted with you. I'm not trying to be the rebel in the house. I'm the loyal soldier, even though I'm not part of your group. I'm still a loyal soldier. I'll vote the way you want to vote if you just keep me just one more week. So for me, I felt like voting with the House was a way to affirm that they were in power. All hail the six shooters and all that. So it didn't pay off for me to cast those kind of rogue rebel hickey votes and everything. Other situations, yeah, you can create a lot of paranoia with that. Absolutely. All right, 8 o'clock. We're going to shut it down, guys, because I'm going to go do a little birthday celebrating. But again, I'm so glad I get to spend Mondays with y'all. So before, I didn't do it early because I had so much I was talking about. But for those of you who are new to the show, or maybe who are watching it on replay, feel free, please, if you get a chance, go out and subscribe to my channel, especially with the Big Brother 25 coming up. Please subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications if you so choose, so whenever we drop one of these episodes or morning recaps and all that. And you can do a little thumbs up while you're at it as well. I certainly appreciate that. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Monday. SKD143. Love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV fans. Be it Big Brother, be it Survivor, be it Traitors too. There's so many out there. Y'all have a fantastic Monday. Hey, next time we're here, it's going to be May. The year's going fast. May, and then suddenly it's June. And that's Big Brother season, or close to it. Y'all have a great one, guys. I will see y'all next Monday. If you got topics you want to talk about next week, shoot them to me. I'll take a look. And REM, send me that video. I absolutely want to watch it. Guys, y'all have a great one. Until next week, cheers, my friends. Bye.